Today, I'm going to show you a complete beginner's guide of the iPad Pro M4. I'm going to show you some of my favorite tips, tricks, and hidden features allowing you to leave this video as an iPad Pro M4 expert. Let's get started. So here we have it, a wonderful and powerful device. You can see on the box there's a picture of it and this little new wallpaper that has a bubble effect that spells out the letters Pro for Pro. Really neat touch there. You can see you've got the Apple logo there, iPad Pro on the side, Apple logo, iPad Pro. And then on the back, some specs and information, and we can go ahead and unbox this for the very first time. Rip off the tabs here, flip it around, and then we can go ahead and take the top off of the box, and we'll be presented with our iPad Pro. It's got the new powerful M4 processor in it, alongside of some powerful new technology. So here we have it. You can see you're presented with the iPad as soon as you take off the top of the box. You've got a pull tab. You can pull it up. It's wrapped in paper, and wow, this is the thinnest iPad and the thinnest Apple product to date. And you can immediately tell it as soon as you pick it up. This thing is super thin. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side and take a look at what's in the box. We've got designed by Apple in California, another pull tab here. We'll pull that out and wow, look, we've got a braided cable that matches the color of the iPad, a space black version of the cable, and the power adapter there. So we'll take a look at those in a second, but here we have designed by Apple in California, and inside of the box you will no longer find stickers. You will have to request a sticker at the Apple Store if you want a sticker for your device, but in order to be more sustainable with their packaging, they have removed these stickers from the device. So you've got a quick start guide here for the iPad Pro and some more legal paperwork. I'm going to go ahead and put that back inside the box here. So we'll just slide those back in, and now let's take off this wonderful wrapping of this braided cable and take a look at it in person. It is stunning. It's very nice. So here we have the braided cable. I'll give you a close-up look there, and it's USB-C to USB-C, and you just stick it one end into your iPad and then the other end into the power brick, which is right here, and this is how you charge your iPad. So really nice that this comes in the box. You can take the paper wrapping off of the charging cable there, the charging brick that we have. So that's how you charge your iPad. You plug one end to the power brick and one end into the iPad. So I'm going to put this over to the side, and now that we've taken a look at everything that's in the box, I'm going to go ahead and put the box back together, and let's dive right into this brand new powerful device, the iPad with the M4 processor for 2024. Very powerful stuff. This is exciting. I'm going to go ahead and lift up this tab here and undo the paper for the very first time. And you can see this is what it looks like. And there we go. The iPad is here in our hands. And just like that, we can see that our new landscape mode camera is right here at the very top. If I can bring the angle down, this is the glossy version. You can get an iPad with a nano texture display now if you get the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte models, which provides a matte finish that's more paper-like, great for drawing, and it blocks the sunlight and glare. But this is the glossy version, so you can definitely see the glare right there of the light and more things. But we've got the new Face ID modules right here on the side alongside of the landscape camera. We've got our connection here. We plug up our USB-C cable at the very bottom to give power or to receive or submit data. We've got speaker grills right here on the left and right. We've got more speaker grills, the power button right here on the top, and then volume buttons up and down, just like this. And then of course we've got our spot for the Apple Pencil and a few microphones and things like that. So that's what's on your iPad Pro when you get it. You've got this connector here for the Magic Keyboard that wirelessly connects to it, and then you've got your camera module on the back here. But if I set this down, you can see how thin this thing is. If I was to bring in something like an iPhone, you can see that it is much thinner than an iPhone. An iPhone is pretty thin too. So that's just to give you some reference there. You can see how much thinner. It's almost half the size of an iPhone. That is impressive. Let's go ahead and power up this iPad Pro for the very first time and go through our setup menus and see what it looks like in order to use the iPad. So I'm going to search for the power button, which is on the top of the device right over here. I'm just going to hold that down for a few seconds until we get our Apple logo. So we just hold it down just like this, and there we go. We get our Apple logo. We've booted the iPad for the very first time. And you can see here as it boots up, an Apple logo appears, and we'll be able to get through with the setup process and setting it up for the very first time. If you have an iPhone nearby or an iPad nearby, you can bring it next to this iPad and set it up almost instantly without having to go through the complete setup process, which makes it really easy to get started. So if you do have another iPad that you're transferring from or an iPhone, go ahead and bring that into frame. But for this video's purposes, with it being a beginner's guide, I'm going to show you completely from start to finish how to set it up as if you didn't have an iPhone or an iPad nearby. You can see it starts up with allowing us to see some of the languages, saying hello in various different languages, a beautiful setup that we have right here. I'm just going to go ahead and swipe up to get started. And then I'm going to select my language. So that's the first option that we have here in order to set up this iPad. We can select English for me, and then it wants us to select country or region. So you can go ahead, scroll, select your country or region. I'll go ahead and select United States. Now it wants you to select your appearance. Choose how you would like text and icons to look on iPad. So they've got 4 options right here. Right now it's at the default. You can switch it over to small, you can switch it over to medium, or you can switch it over to large. So whichever one you want, depending on your preference, you can select. I'm going to leave it at default, and then they've got this blue continue button at the very bottom that allows us to move forward with the next option after we've selected our appearance. So this is really great because sometimes you want more things on the screen, so you can select small and see more text, or if you want it to be very large, you can easily read it and you can be good to go without having to always zoom in or bring the iPad closer. So whichever one you like the best, you can go ahead and select, and then just press this blue continue button. So this is the quick start process where it looks for devices that are nearby, and this makes the setup process much easier if you have an iPhone nearby. I will demo what this looks like, but I'm going to set up without another device. If I bring in this iPhone, it's going to look for it, and then it's going to be like, hey, set up this new iPad using your current Apple ID and allow you to get started. So I'm not going to set up using this iPhone. I'm going to set up using without another device, which is right here at the very bottom. So if you do not have an iPhone and you do not want to use Quick Start, then you just press this blue text at the very bottom. But if you do have an iPhone or an older iPad and you want to go ahead and transfer everything over and have a Quick Start, then just bring that iPad or that iPhone near to this iPad, and it will automatically detect it nearby, and you'll be able to quickly start and get set up. I'm going to go ahead and get started with this blue button or blue option that says set up without another device at the very bottom, and it's going to ask us for our Wi-Fi password or Wi-Fi network. So I'll go ahead and select our Wi-Fi, and then it wants us to enter that password in. So I'm going to enter the passcode off camera here, and then I'll go ahead and click the join button, and it's going to start joining this wireless network. So you'll want to find your wireless network that's nearby. This allows you to install things like software updates, connect to the internet, and be able to use your iPad with wireless internet. So this is very handy. If you have a cellular version of the iPad, that's very handy too to get your internet access. So it says there's no network connection. The Wi-Fi selected. Okay, that disappeared. So it looks like it found wireless connection. It's got a check mark next to my wireless network, so I am good to go. So after you select your wireless network and you type in your passcode, it should appear with a check mark next to it, and then you should be able to hit this blue continue button at the very bottom to move on to the next page in the setup process. So let's go ahead and hit continue, and now it says it may take a few minutes to activate your iPad. So I'm just going to lay it down here and allow it to activate. So this means it's communicating to Apple servers, it's collecting hardware identifiers, and it's being able to update that data with Apple and then verify that this iPad is good to go. So next up is the software update. So I highly recommend setting up your software and updating it to the latest version so you can have the latest software security fixes and the latest apps on your device. So for this option during the setup process, you can update later, but there's this blue update button, which is the one I highly recommend pressing, but it will take a few minutes for it to download that update and go through the installation process. So I'm just going to go ahead and say update now. It's going to allow me to disagree or agree to the terms and conditions, but of course we'll need to scroll through them and agree in order to download that software update. So it's requested the update, it's downloading the software update, and this will allow me to be, up to date with the latest security fixes. Check out today's sponsor, Rakuten, where you can get a $30 bonus today when you sign up using the link in the description, appfind.org/Rakuten. You can shop at your favorite stores with over 3,500 stores to check out, and you install the plugin, create an account on Rakuten, and earn cash back today. It's really cool that you can come here and get paid to shop, and of course you can earn your $30 bonus today using the link in the description. This helps out the AppFind channel a lot, so check out today's sponsor, Rakuten, using the link appfind.org/Rakuten, and have all the latest different apps and bug fixes and great features that are on this iPad. So highly recommend updating. First thing you do when you get your device, updating to the latest software so you are good to go. So it says that it's going to take about 4 minutes remaining in order to set up this download and the software update. Now that means it's taking about 4 minutes to download the software update, and then after that it's going to take some additional minutes to complete the setup, and it's going to take some time. It's going to reboot, it's going to install the software, so it can take around 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes to install the software update, depending on what your internet speed is and also depending on how fast it installs once it downloads. So it's multiple steps in the software update process. The first step is the downloading process. The second step is the installation. So we can see here we have about 3 more minutes remaining for the downloading step of this software update, and it just increased to 4 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and set the iPad down. I'm going to let it download this process here, and after it's completed the download process, I'll come back for you. 1 second remaining here. Preparing update. We are ready to blast off. Now this preparing update can take some time as it prepares and installs the software. So just let it process for a few minutes. You can see the blue progress bar is going slowly across as it prepares the update. But don't be alarmed if this takes way too long, because it will stay there to prepare the update. And then after it prepares the update, it will begin installing the update. So we'll be on our way to the latest and greatest and newest software, fixing all the bugs and all of the security fixes, which is a positive and a win for us. So let's go ahead and have it prepared to update. And we are good to go here. It is verifying the update, and we will be able to have this iPad restart, install the latest software update, and be good to go. So you can see the iPad has gone to black. That means it has shut down and is now restarting in order to install the software update that we just downloaded. So we can just wait a minute, and you can see the Apple logo came on and then disappeared. Don't be too alarmed, that's okay. It's installing a software update. It's got a little progress bar, and now it's got a loading screen. And now we just play the waiting game one more time. We've got this Apple logo, and we've got this progress bar, and we just wait maybe 5-10 minutes. You wait a few minutes for this to go from here all the way over here, and then your software will be installed successfully, and then it will reboot one more time, and then we'll be able to move on and continue with our setup process. So I'm gonna let the Apple software install right here as it slowly proceeds across the bar there, and we'll be good to go in a few minutes. So just a little patient game of waiting of the downloading process and the installation process. But I promise you it's worth the wait to have the best security in the world. So I'll go ahead and let it download, and we will return after it has successfully installed. The new software has successfully installed, the iPad has restarted, and you can see the screen is on and the hello messages in various different languages are on and appearing. So we are good to go. We can swipe up from the very bottom right here to get started, and we're back where we were before, where we selected our appearance. So I'm going to leave it on the default stage. We'll go ahead and hit continue. It's going to look for other devices. I'm going to set up without another device. And now it talks about data and privacy. We've went through the software update process. It's on the latest software. We're good to go there. And now it lets us know that this icon right here, the two figures there, when that appears, it lets you know that Apple is appearing to use your personal information. So it collects information to use certain features like your Apple services or personalizing your experience. So when that appears, it lets you know that Apple is asking to use your personal information. So I'll go ahead and hit the continue on that. Next up, we can set up iPad. So we can set it up for myself, or we can set it up for a child in my family that's attached to your Apple account. And it says here, child accounts can be created by a parent or a legal guardian for children 12 and under or younger. So if you have a kid, then you can set them up using this separate option right here that says set up for a child in my family. But if it's for you, let's go ahead and press this big blue button that says set up for myself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Next up is Face ID. So the iPad can recognize the unique three-dimensional features of your face to unlock automatically, use Apple Pay, make purchases, or subscribe to services from Apple. So you can either set this up later by pressing the text underneath the blue button, or you can go ahead and set it up now by pressing the big blue button that says continue. So let's go ahead and set this up now. Now that the camera is on the side of the iPad, it asks us to rotate to landscape. Face ID needs to be in landscape mode to learn how to recognize you. After Face ID has been set up, it will work in portrait and landscape. So let's go ahead and rotate just like this, and it gives us this brand new option to set up Face ID, and it teaches us how to set up Face ID. You just position your face in the camera frame and then tilt your head in a circle to show all the angles. And I'm going to go ahead and just press the big blue Get Started button to do this, and you'll see me do it live right here as I set up this iPad Pro for the very first time. So I just press the Get Started button, I position myself in the frame here, and then I just start moving my head slowly in a circle to cover. So it does scan number 1. First scan is complete. Now we'll hit this blue Continue button, and we'll do it one more time. And it looks like I missed some there, so it wants me to try again. And there we go. Second Face ID scan complete. So we'll just press this big blue Continue button, and then we'll be good to go. Next up, create an iPad passcode. So you can see Face ID was very easy to set up, but in order for Face ID to work properly, you have to have a passcode because you have to verify yourself with the passcode, and then Face ID is turned on after that. So let's go ahead and set up a passcode. I'm going to type in a passcode off camera, and then we'll be good to go. It's going to ask you to press it or type it in twice. So I enter my passcode, and then I'll bring this down. It's processing, it's saving, so we're good to go on the passcodes. Highly recommend setting up a passcode to protect your personal data and all of the things that you do with your iPad. Next up, it wants us to transfer your apps and data. So if you have an iCloud backup of another iPad, or if you want to manually transfer it from another iPad that's nearby, or from a Mac or PC, or from an Android, you can just select those options. Whichever option you want to do right there, you can select it right there on frame, and it will take you step by step to allow you to restore from those options. In this video, I'm not going to demo a restore process or transfer any apps or data from previous. I'm going to set it up from completely new experiences here. So I'm going to select the Don't Transfer Anything button at the very bottom, and this will be set up as a brand new iPad with absolutely nothing but stock and default applications on it, and it'll be a fresh, clean experience. So next up is the Apple ID experience. You can use your Apple ID to log in and store things. You can access the App Store, you can access Apple services. So if you have an Apple ID, then go ahead and enter the email and username and password for that, and you can sign in with your Apple ID and set this iPad up. If you don't have an Apple ID, you can just press this button that says Forgot Password. It says Forgot Password or Don't Have an Apple ID. You press it, and then you can say Forgot Password or Apple ID, create a free Apple ID if you'd like, or you can say Set Up Later in Settings. Your choice. You can see what the Apple ID brings you. You can get access to all of your devices through iCloud. You can shop for music, movies, and TV shows in the iTunes Store. You can text others with iMessage. You've got your favorite things, bookmarks, syncing across multiple devices. You can find the best apps in the App Store. You can access all your photos on iCloud Photos and make video calls on iPhone, iPad, and Mac with Face ID. So those are the values that you get with an Apple ID. So if you choose to create one, you can. If you already have one, great. I'm going to go ahead and say set up later in settings, and we can do that later. Now it's going to confirm and ask us, are you sure that you don't want to use Apple ID? Because you need it if you want to do things like Apple Pay, App Store, iCloud. It's an essential part of the iPad experience if you want to download apps or to use things like iCloud Photos. So I'm going to go ahead and say don't use. I'll set mine up later in the video, but I don't need to log in with my Apple ID right now. If you want to, you can select use Apple ID, go back and log in right here. So I'll go ahead and say, we can also take a look at the other sign-in options. You can use multiple accounts or use another device to sign in. Handy dandy stuff that they've got there. So I'll go ahead and say set up later in settings and then say don't use. Next up is automatic updates for your iPad. You can install the software automatically, and this is turned on to be default here. So future software updates will be automatically downloaded and installed as they're released. You can manage this in software updates settings. You've got two options. You can just go ahead and continue and have automatic updates automatically install and automatically update your iPad, or you can say only download automatically. If you select this second option, underneath the blue button that's just text in blue and says only download automatically, then that means that it'll download the software update, but it will not install it for you automatically. So it'll be on your iPad and ready to be installed, but it will not install until you actually go press update. If you press the blue button, that means it will install the software automatically for you without you having to go press the blue or the, it may not be blue, but to go press the update button in settings. It'll just handle it in the background for you. I'm just gonna go ahead and press the blue button and keep it automatic and simple and good to go. Next up is location services. With location services, this allows your apps in things like Find My to figure out where you are. So I'm gonna go ahead and press turn on location services, but I'm going to do it off camera just to protect my location. You can say set up later if you do not want your apps to know where you are, or if you don't want to use the location services on your iPad. So I'm going to do this off camera, and that turns off, and my location is good to go. So next up is Siri. Siri helps you find information by getting things done just by asking. All you have to do is just say Siri, then your request, or press and hold the top button. So you can set this up later in settings, or you can press the blue continue button. I'm just going to go ahead and set it up now and watch throughout the process. So it wants us to select a Siri voice. We can do voice 1.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
So they've got 5 options here. I'll go ahead and select option 4.
You can change it later in settings.
You've got 2 options at the very bottom. You can hit continue after you select whichever voice you want, or you can say choose for me. I'm going to hit the big blue continue button and we'll move on. Now it says say Siri, how's the weather to your iPad? And it checks marks it there. Say hey Siri, send a message. Hey Siri, send a message. So what this is doing is Siri is listening to me now in order to learn how I speak and to be able to recognize my voice for when I say a command to the iPad later on. So I didn't get that because I didn't say it, so let's try again. Siri, set a timer for 3 minutes. Hey Siri, get directions home. Siri, play some music. Siri is ready. Now iPad will listen for Siri or Hey Siri at the very beginning of any request. And once you start talking, you can add another request without saying its name again. And now I've got my HomePod listening to me because I said Siri. I'm going to go ahead and press this blue continue button and move on to the next page. Next up is improve Siri in dictation. Apple wants to know if you would like to share your audio recordings with their team in order to make dictation in Siri better in the future. If you do want to share this kind of data, press the blue Share Audio Recordings button. If you do not want to share the audio recordings that you create with Siri, then select the tiny text that's blue right underneath the big blue button that says Not Now. I'm going to go ahead and share audio recordings for now. You can always change it later in settings if you'd like. Next up is screen time. Screen time is a great feature that lets you know what you're spending your time on when you're using your iPad. Whether you're in certain apps, on the web, whatever you're using, you can use screen time to dictate things like parent controls. If you want to set a certain amount of time for certain apps, you can do that. So you can go ahead and press the blue continue button to set up screen time, or you can turn it off and set it up later in settings by pressing the text underneath the blue button. For this beginner's guide, I'm going to go ahead and just press the blue button to hit continue and turn on screen time. Next up is iPad Analytics. Help Apple improve its products and services by allowing analytics of usage data from your iPad. So it can collect data privately and then share that with Apple to let them know how you're using your iPad and then, improve products in the future. If you do not want to share, just press the text underneath the big blue button that says don't share. If you do want to share, all you have to do is just press this big blue button that says share with Apple. I'll go ahead and share with Apple for now. And then next up is App Analytics, which is very similar, but instead this shares with app developers. So if you're using an app made by a developer, it will share back those analytics to the developer and the person that created the app so they can make their app better in the future. So if you don't want to share, all you have to do is just press the text underneath the big blue button that says don't share. If you do want to share, just press the big blue button that does say share with app developers. We'll go ahead and share with app developers for now. Next up is light or dark mode. So you can say light mode if you want, which prevents everything light. This is what dark mode looks like. It turns everything dark. Or you can have auto mode, which dictates the appearance based off the time of the day. So in the morning it's light, and then at night it's dark. I'm going to go ahead and select dark mode. I love dark mode. I have dark mode everything. And then I'm going to go ahead and press this big blue continue button in order to move forward. So now we're all done. Welcome to iPad. We can go ahead and press the get started button, the big blue button, the last one we'll have to press throughout the setup process, and we're presented with our home screen. We have widgets, apps, and we're good to go. We can rotate our iPad back up if we want, or we can rotate it back. This is gorgeous design. As we have our iPad officially set up, we're going to dive into all of the great features on this iPad. But before we do that, let's take a look at some of the other accessories. Today's video is sponsored by a children's book titled Enough, a Best Self-Adventure. You can purchase this book using the Amazon link in the comments and description below. This is perfect if you have kids or if you have family members and you want them to live their happiest childhood. You can check out Enough, a Best Self-Adventure using the Amazon link in the description below. You can see the incredible illustrations alongside of the text here. So you can go ahead and check out this book titled Enough, a Best Self-Adventure perfect for young children in the description below and purchase your very own copy today. This is the iPad Magic Keyboard. It's an all-new design specifically for this brand new iPad Pro, and I cannot wait to check it out. So on the front here we have a picture of it. It shows this brand new design for the keyboard, and then of course it has the top part that holds your iPad where it floats over the keyboard. Absolutely stunning design. And then on the side, there's nothing on the sides of these boxes here. You just have the back that have the little tilt positions and the instructions of how to use it, some specs, and let's go ahead and open it up. It's going to be really nice. So the iPad Magic Keyboard. It's got two pull straps. We pull the first one, pull the second one, and now we can go ahead and open this box for the very first time and take a look at what's inside. So it's got a pull tab right here. It's covered here in this paper. We just pull it up and that's all that's inside. No special manual and no special stickers, absolutely nothing. The only thing we get is just on the back that lets us know that we can set our iPad up by magnetically attaching it to the top part of the Magic Keyboard. We can charge it right here using USB-C. We can tilt it that way, and we can close it. So that's all they have here on the diagram for this. And let's go ahead and open it up and see how it looks. So we can take away the paper. And that is beautiful. So here we have it, the Magic Keyboard. We can go ahead and lift up. And this is what it looks like. So I can close it completely shut so you can see we've got an Apple logo on the very back there. We've got this fold mechanism, a hole for the camera. And then when we lift it up, we've got this bigger giant trackpad here for us. It's now a metal finish at the very bottom. And then we've got the iPad keyboard. This is not only a full-size keyboard, but the brand new feature with this Magic Keyboard is it has a function row key. We're going to check out all of the details of that function row key. And then you can see here it attaches magnetically and has the pins to communicate with the iPad right here. So I'm going to go ahead and clean off the table here. And I'm going to lift it up some. And then let's go ahead and drag the iPad. We'll bring the iPad back into frame and we'll just magnetically attach it by putting it on the top there. And now we're connected. It's as easy as that to connect the Magic Keyboard. And you can see here I'm trying to get everything into frame so we can turn on the iPad. I'm going to go ahead and close it once. And you can see what it looks like. It's very thin. Got the iPad camera right there. And this hinge right here, we can see our USB-C port right there that we can plug in for power. And then on the back, it's just clean. So I'll go ahead and lift this up. And just like that, we are good to go. So we can go ahead and use the keyboard to unlock the device. All you have to do is just hit the space bar and Face ID recognizes me automatically and unlocks the device and opens it. I can go ahead and take a look at the Notes application. Welcome to Notes. So it's got a great onboarding experience here, so you can add almost anything, capture documents, photos, maps, and more for rich notes experience. You can write notes to yourself, or you can have anyone join you by adding other people to your note document. You can sketch your thoughts, you can draw with your finger or your Apple Pencil, and then you can create quick notes anywhere by swiping up from the bottom of the screen and then just drawing or typing. So I'll go ahead and hit continue here. And now it wants us to turn on iCloud to access notes from devices. I'm going to go ahead and say not now. We're going to keep all of our notes locally on the iPad. So you can see if I tap the little menu option in the top to get this sidebar here, you can see the folders are on my iPad. And then I'm going to go ahead and press this button in the top right to make a new note. And I can use this keyboard now. I can say, hello, Magic Keyboard. And just like that, I've typed on the keyboard for the very first time, and I have a new note document on this iPad with the title of it being Hello Magic Keyboard. And I can go ahead and press the return button and I can start typing. This feels great to type on, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. So just like that, I typed my first sentence, and this new keyboard here, the best part about it is the function row key in this new aluminum metal design that it has. The previous one was not made out of metal, so it's more solid, it's more firm. It's really nice to experience here when you hold it and when you use it. So I'm going to go ahead and try, what does the escape key do? So right now the escape key doesn't do anything. You got the brightness options, so I can turn the brightness all the way down. You see nothing. I can turn the brightness all the way up. We've got this button here that brings us to all of our applications. Our app launcher is at the very bottom at the dock, and then we have all of our different, if we were to open up other applications such as another notes document, we can hold down and say new note, and then if you have things like Stage Manager, you can bring out multiple notes and multiple things, but we'll get all into that later. So right now, the Notes application is the only application is open right now. So when we press this button, you get a bird's eye view of all the applications that you've recently opened, and you can select whichever one you want, and then open that quickly. You've got the Spotlight button right here. You can instantly type. You can do a web search. You can search anything on the iPad. You can search the web, your contacts, nearby locations, personalized suggestions as you type. So if I was to search for Magic it will immediately pop up my note here that I created because it's searching across the entire iPad, which is a good sign. So we're good to go there. Really cool feature that we've got. You can use Spotlight to search for almost anything and it pops up. You've got dictation. So you can hold down, and this brings up Siri. So instead of dictation, you've got your Siri, it's listening to us. If I ask it, let's see, let me stop the request. Looks like the request is...
Media will play softer.
Okay, yeah, so Siri was listening to us the entire time. So if you hold down this button, it brings up Siri. Let's see if I can ask it to open settings. Open settings. And just like that, we've opened settings for the very first time on this iPad. So this is not a dictation button, it's the Siri button. You press it, you hold it down, open notes, and Siri pops open. So this keyboard is pretty impressive. You've got Do Not Disturb right here, a crown that lets us set Do Not Disturb. So this is, you see it there in the corner, where it turns on Do Not Disturb instantly. It puts a little crown, a little icon there, Do Not Disturb icon in the top right, and Do Not Disturb is in Control Center. You're probably wondering, what is this? You swipe up from the top right of an iPad and you get access to Control Center. We'll dive into this in a bit too. But you got Do Not Disturb. We can tap it off just by selecting it right there, or you can see when we swipe down from Control Center, we get access to it, and if I press the little key right here, Do Not Disturb, it just turns on automatically for us right there. So Do Not Disturb blocks all notifications. You can set different focus modes and allow only the notifications that you want to appear when you need them to appear. You've got music controls right here. So if things like Apple Music or YouTube, you can play, rewind, fast forward. Then you've got volume controls. So you can mute. You see it goes into mute. You can bring the volume down, or you can bring the volume all the way up. So multiple options there. And then the last key that you have right here is a lock button, and it locks the iPad. And then when you try to use it, it recognizes my face because I'm right in front of it, and it unlocks it, and we're good to go. But you can just lock it just like that. So that is the Magic Keyboard. I'll give you an up-close look here so you can see all of those function row keys. So very cool options that we've got there. You've got the brightness. You've got all the apps that you have recently opened. You've got your Spotlight. You've got your Siri button, your Do Not Disturb key, your music controls, and then your volume controls, and then a lock button. So that's what we have there on the function rows for the Magic Keyboard. And then of course we've got this large trackpad right here that allows us to move around. You can see as we fold it, it kind of floats in the air underneath the keyboard is right underneath as it floats in the air right here. So that's really cool design. And then you've got this massive trackpad right here. So with the iPad OS, you can use the trackpad and the circle comes up and you can click on various different things to access them, just like as if you had a mouse. So really cool trackpad. And that is the Magic Keyboard. Some really cool developments there. Let's take a look at the brand new Apple Pencil Pro. This has a lot of features packed into it, and it's the very first from Apple. So you can see the side of the box says Apple Pencil Pro. There's nothing on this side, nothing on that side. And the back, it's got some specs and information. And all you have to do is just attach it magnetically to your iPad Pro to set it up successfully. It's got one pull strap right here. You just pull it to get started. So we'll go ahead and rip that off. And then this pull strap comes off. And then we just slide it out. Designed by Apple in California. So this Apple Pencil Pro has a lot of new features. We're going to dive into them. Let's go ahead and we can take the top off here or present it with the pencil. Another pull tab. You just pull it out like that. It's got this paper wrapped around it. So I'll go ahead and rip that paper off. Just like that. We can throw that paper in the trash. And here's the pencil. So you can see Apple Pencil Pro, the first of its kind, and all you have to do to set it up is magnetically attach it. We'll do that in a second, but let's take a look, see what else is in this box. You've got the Apple Pencil Pro, a little quick start guide. You can change tips, if you'd like to replace the tip. And then we've got some more regulatory information, safety and handling, and more legal paperwork from Apple. So that's all that's in the box. Let's go ahead and attach this brand new Apple Pencil Pro to our iPad and see what it looks like to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and unlock my iPad. And then I'm just going to go ahead and return the iPad in the center here and just magnetically attach it like that. And look at that, the Apple Pencil Pro. And we got this brand new welcome screen. Welcome to Apple Pencil Pro. Your Apple Pencil Pro unlocks a whole new iPad OS experience, letting you annotate, draw, mark up, and edit in the apps you use every day. You've got Squeeze, so you can lightly squeeze the Apple Pencil Pro to access all the tools you need. You can switch tools with a gesture. Double tap your Apple Pencil Pro to easily switch tools as you write, sketch, or draw. And then you can scribble. You can write in any text field and your words automatically transform into typed text. And then you can easily capture screenshots. Swipe your Apple Pencil Pro from the bottom left corner of your iPad to take a screenshot. So that's really cool. Let's try the screenshot feature first. I'm going to go ahead and just take my Apple Pencil and swipe up from the left corner here, and then it just takes a screenshot like that. And then I can go ahead and press this done button to save that screenshot to my photo library, and we can access those features that were previously there just for a short amount of time, because now when I put my pencil back there, of course they pop up again. That's cool. So after we hit this blue continue button, they won't pop up again, and we'll have to maybe reread them from the screenshot. So I'll go ahead and hit the blue continue button. Oh, now it wants us to demo all of these features. This is pretty impressive. So it does have to teach you. I can say when I tried using an Apple Pencil Pro for the first time, I didn't know how to use it, but it looks like when you set it up through this brand new setup interface, it teaches you how to use it. So it says hover over the screen and squeeze your Apple Pencil Pro to quickly access the tools you need. So if I just hover over the screen, just like that, I just squeeze the Apple Pencil. So you probably can't even see that, but anywhere I hover over and squeeze, the tools just pop up. So the iPad can detect how close my pencil is to the screen, and then I just hover over where I want and squeeze, and then the tools pop up just like that. I've got the undo, the redo, the eraser, a pen, and then the color wheel here, another tool. So there's all these different tools here that we can select. We'll go into detail about them on the Notes application in a second. So that's the squeeze feature. You just hover over and squeeze, and a brand new menu pops open on the Apple Pencil to get access to all the tools. This is very fun because this is pretty impressive, and the fact that it just hovers over wherever you are at. Normally you would have to always go back to the side menu or the top menu or the lower menu to access wherever color menu option you want, but now you can stay where you're drawing and just instantly hover over and change the color instantly. So that is a huge improvement. I don't have to waste time dragging my hand to the top side or bottom menus anymore. I just hover over and squeeze, and all of the options appear on the iPad. Really cool features. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the blue continue button and see what else is new. So now it wants us to try Scribble. You can use your pencil to handwrite in any text area to convert it into type. Give Scribble a try by handwriting some text into the box below. So I can just try writing a few words into the box. So this is a little box here. I can just start writing hello Apple Pencil, just like that. And it starts transcribing them and putting them into text rather than handwriting letters. So really cool. I can try again. I can say hello world, and it just transcribes what I write, and then it instantly puts it into the text right away. Really cool features that we have right there on the Apple Pencil Pro. So that's handwrite. We can delete. You can scratch out a word to delete it. So all you have to do is just scratch out a word and it instantly deletes it. We can scratch out this whole sentence just by scratching it out, and then voila, it disappears. We can go to select. So circle or draw a line through a text to easily select it. So all you have to do is just circle, and it easily selects what you circle. or you can draw a line over it and it instantly selects. So very easy to come in here and navigate just by doing circles. Oh, I scribbled some text out. So that's how you select. You just circle and it selects, or you draw a line through it and it selects, just like that. Really easy to get set up there. Next up is insert. Tap and hold with your pencil in any editable field to make room to write additional text. So if I want to try inserting a new word, I'm going to put into, so I tap and hold into. Okay, that's cool. So now try inserting a new word into the sentence. And it disappeared. So let's, oh, I dropped the pencil. Let's try seeing if it will pop up again. So we'll go ahead and hit continue, continue. So we were at select and insert. So lots of features here. Try inserting a word. Next up is join. So we've gone through handwrite, delete, select, insert. Next up is join. So join characters or separate words by drawing a vertical line before or after any character. So draw vertical lines to separate and join words. So if we want vertical lines to be joined, or we just, let's replay it. So if we draw a vertical line, I drew it in between the A and the L, so it separates them, but if we want to rejoin them, we can do that. So this one's a bit more finicky. If we want, there we go, I got it to work. So if we want to join them, you just draw a line in between the spaces and it joins the text together. So join characters or separate words by drawing a vertical line before or after any character, and then it combines them. So I'm going to press the blue continue button. Here's a killer feature with the brand new Apple Pencil Pro. This makes it all worth getting. It has Find My. So this will allow you to see the location last connected to your Apple Pencil on a map and find it wherever it's lost. So Find My is not enabled. Go to settings and turn it on, and then that way it can pair this. And with that, I believe we would need things like iCloud in order for Find My to work. So we would need to log in to our iCloud in order for it to properly work. So really cool features that we've got here with the Apple Pencil. And I'll go ahead and just select not now, but for you, you should definitely turn it on immediately. And we'll go ahead and select not now for now. So that is the brand new Apple Pencil Pro. You just attach it to the top to magnetically charge it, and you can just, pick your pencil, you can hover over anything, you can squeeze it to get all of your menu options. And then that, I think, is a killer feature there to get all your menu options. So there we have it, some incredible features from the Apple Pencil Pro. Next up, let's dive into the iPad OS operating system. When you unlock your iPad, you're presented with your home screen. And on your home screen, you have things like widgets. I just swiped down to access Spotlight. That's a quick view to access it. If you remember, we can also access Spotlight by pressing the Spotlight button on the keyboard, and a search box appears. You've got your widgets at the very top, you've got your apps right here, and then you've got your dock. Your dock is for your most used applications. Anytime you want to quickly access an application, you can just open it up right there and quickly access it. You can also swipe from the bottom while you're in an application, swipe up, and your dock appears. And if you want to pull up another application, all you have to do is just drag it onto the screen, and there you go. We've got settings open now. So you can swipe up, access your dock at any point, and instantly open that notification or that app on your dock. Really handy. I'm going to swipe up and go to the home screen. So you may be wondering, what are widgets and how do you access them? Widgets can be accessed by modifying the home screen. All you have to do is just hold down on any application and then press Edit Home Screen, and everything starts to wiggle. So now with it wiggling, you can rearrange applications. So I can move the FaceTime app over there, or I can move it back. I can even move widgets just like that. And now I can press this plus button in the very top left to add new widgets. And this is what the widgets panel looks like. So I can come over here, I can see smart stacks, I can see widgets from the App Store, I can see battery widgets. I love the battery widgets. You got book widgets, calendar, clock, contacts, files, and more. You can see the list goes on, over a dozen different widgets here that you can add to the home screen. I'm going to add the battery widget. You can swipe and see which version of it you want, whether you want a really big version, a little tiny version, or an even more compact size version. We can go with this version and press add a widget, and it adds it to the home screen just like that. So now I can see the battery of my Apple Pencil on the home screen alongside the battery of the iPad. Very handy features that we have right here on the brand new iPad Pro. So I can swipe and see all the various different applications. I can go ahead, if I want to move this, I can hold down on it, I can edit the home screen, and I can move this to another page just by holding and sliding it over here and then dragging it to a brand new page. And what's nice is you can place widgets anywhere on the iPad, wherever you want. So I can just hold, drag, and then hit done, and I have 3 pages open right now. And you can tell that I have 3 pages open right now with this 3 little dots at the very bottom. I can swipe to the second page, you can see all the applications there, and I can swipe to the first page and see all the applications and widgets that are on this page. So anytime you need to modify what's on the iPad OS, all you have to do is just come over here, hold down, edit the home screen, drag applications where you want to, and then also anytime you want to change a widget, you can drag it around as you want to, or you can add new widgets with the plus in the top left. So that is how you customize things on your iPad home screen. Very cool stuff that you can do. I'm going to swipe over here, and now you can see that you have various different options. You've got kind of like a new control center, and this is what you see on your lock screen. When you swipe over, you can swipe over and see different widgets. So whether you're on your lock screen or you're unlocked, you just swipe over and you can see a history of widgets here that you've added. We can see photos are here. We've got a calendar widget, a weather widget, and then the news widget. I can hold down and edit the home screen widgets. Now these are in a side panel. So no matter where I access them, whether they're on the home screen or the lock screen, I can come over here, add, let's say the battery widget, say I used the bigger one this time, and add it to the screen. So now, anytime I swipe over to the very left, this battery widget is here in the bottom, and I can scroll through. And they're accessible on the lock screen too, so I can open the lock screen and swipe down and see the battery widget at the very bottom too. So really cool options that we have there. I'll go ahead and unlock the iPad using Face ID, and it automatically takes me to my home screen. So that's an overview there of widgets and your ability to use and modify things on your home screen. Next up, let's take a look at Control Center. We saw it earlier in the video. Control Center, you swipe down from the top right. And this is Control Center, and it allows you to modify the controls on your iPad. Over here in this area, we've got an option to turn on airplane mode. We've got an option for AirDrop to send files to one another, or send files to yourself to a different device like an iPad, an iPhone, or a computer. You can have your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth. You can see Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are turned on. They're blue. So that means they are turned on. You've got things like rotation lock. If you don't want your iPad rotating the screen, you can turn on rotation lock and it will not do that. You've got screen mirroring, where you can AirPlay to a different device like an Apple TV or AirPlay compatible television. You've got your focus modes. We saw that earlier with the focus button that's on the Magic Keyboard. This button right here is your silent switch. It turns on silent mode, and you won't be disturbed by notifications. At least they won't make sounds. They'll still come through, but they'll just be completely silent. And then right here, you've got this incredible button to turn on Stage Manager to access multiple different windows and multitask. I'm going to go ahead and turn on Stage Manager, and we'll take a look at how to use it in a second. But for now, I'm going to swipe back down, go to my Control Center, and take a look at what else I have. I'm going to use the mouse, the trackpad that's on this keyboard here, to navigate and show you a little bit. So I've got the Apple Pencil box right there. I'm going to center this. So right here, I can use the trackpad to move the cursor all the way over. We've got the quick note button. We can press this and we can make a new note. Just like that. If you press the camera button one time, it opens the camera from the Control Center. But if you swipe down from the control center and you hold down on these buttons, new options appear. So I'm going to try that one more time. We swipe down, we hold down. So I can take a selfie, a video, a photo, or a portrait selfie. Just like that, selecting one option, and it automatically appears on the camera mode. I can come over here, I can hold down the notes, I can do a new note. I can bring this in closer for you all. We can do a new checklist. We can do a new photo. We can scan a document. So when you hold down on the control center options, you get more options depending on what you hold down on. So for focus mode, if we hold down, we get access to all of our different focus modes. For screen mirroring, and this gets even better. For Wi-Fi, if we want to select Wi-Fi, AirDrop, Airplane, Bluetooth, we can come in here and hold down, and we can access these settings just by holding down, and it makes it much easier for us to come in here and modify them without actually having to open up the settings application. So just hold down on anything in Control Center to get more additional details without actually having to fully open up that application. So really cool options, and that is the Control Center on iPad OS for your brand new iPad. Really cool options that we have to quickly access the settings anytime we want to on your iPad. So now that we've explored the Control Center and modifying widgets and adding and rearranging things on the home screen, let's take a look at the great way to multitask in iPad OS using the Stage Manager. Remember, we just turned on Stage Manager by swiping down from the bottom and pressing this button right here. It looks like 3 icons with a little window. So that turns on Stage Manager, and what this allows us to do is multitask. So if we're to open up an app like Calendar, you'll see on the left side with the calendar open, we have our additional Stage Manager windows. So Stage Manager allows you to resize windows like this and drag them to where you want on the screen, just like that. And now if we want to go back to our web browser, which is the Safari icon right here, we can just press this and go back to our web browser. If we want to go back to settings, we press settings and it brings up settings. And then if we want to get access, we just swipe from the edge, we can go back to notes. So this is an incredible way to multitask on an iPad using Stage Manager. What's even better is you can have multiple applications side by side. So right now we have notes, but say we want to do some research on this brand new iPad Air, we can just drag it into frame and resize it and have the Safari window open with the web browser and the Note window open with the iPad OS operating system. So it's cool that you can multitask, and if I was to switch back to Calendar, it will remember that I have Notes and Safari paired together, and when I want to go back and do my research and my notes, I just tap on them and it brings those windows back open instantly for us to get started with. So that's a really impressive way to multitask on an iPad, and you can have as many windows as you want open here. By default, 4 of those will be on the side, and then you'll be able to select from them. And then say we want to add in something like Apple Music, we can just drag it just like that and then start exploring with Apple Music. We can drag in our Photos application just like that. Allow photos. So really cool options that we have. So now you can see I've got 3 applications open at once. I've got the camera application, the Apple Music application, and the Photos application open, all with Stage Manager. So really cool options that we have here, and all you have to do is just swipe up and bring in a new application. If we want to bring in settings, now we've got 4 applications running at the same time. You can adjust them as much as you want, and you can just tap on them, drag them wherever you want, and that's how we use Stage Manager for multitasking. If you want to get back to your apps, you can swipe up from the dock and select a different app, like the calendar, and that takes us back to our calendar. Or you can select a different app like Safari, and that takes us back to the web browser and the notes. So Stage Manager is an absolutely incredible way to multitask, have multiple windows open. You can resize them. You can put them where you want. You can swap it around like that and multitask on an iPad with iPad OS. So I'm going to go ahead and swipe and turn off Stage Manager, and now it's going to introduce multitasking with side-by-side mode. And that's a brand new way to multitask too, in addition to Stage Manager. That works with these 3 dots at the top. You just tap the 3 dots and I can close Safari. And by default, when you open things without Stage Manager, everything opens in full screen mode. So if I swipe up, go home and go to Safari, everything's in full screen mode because Stage Manager is not on. But if I tap these three dots at the very top, it'll allow me to have multiple options. I can have a split view, I can have a slide over. Let's go ahead and do a split view with our Notes application again. Just tap Notes, and now we have them split. We can use this mode in the center here to swipe around and make one larger than the other, just like that, in order to have a split view. Another mode, if we go ahead and tap the three dots, we can just close. But I want to show you if we tap the three dots and we select Slide Over. Slide Over allows an application to just be on the side. So you can still use your normal application, but you just have an app right here on the side. It can be on the left or it can be on the right. So it doesn't necessarily put it side by side, but it doesn't allow you to see them next to each other. It just puts one on top of the other. So really cool options that we have right there with Slide Over. So you just tap the three dots and you can go into split view, left split or right split, or you can close the application. And that is another way to multitask on an iPad, which is really handy and really cool to check out. Let's take a look at using the Apple Pencil to create quick notes. All you have to do is just take your pencil and go from the bottom right of the screen and swipe up. And this is how you capture a quick note on an iPad using the Apple Pencil. You can create new notes anytime by swiping up from the bottom right corner. Add links to return to content or be reminded of your note. View all your quick notes in the Notes app. So I'm going to go ahead and press the yellow Get Started button, and this will allow me to just start scribbling. So I can just say hello. And then I can go ahead and press the Done button. And then if I want to, I can open up Safari and access that quick note just by swiping up again. And now I can say iPad $5.99. And then I can press Done, and it goes away. And then I can go over here and open up a different app, such as the Photos app. And I can just swipe up from the bottom right again. And that same note is there. You get the concept. The Quick Notes allows you to jot down information quickly at any time and quickly access it no matter what application you're in. If you swipe up and you go to a different application, if we go ahead and open something like Settings, we can just swipe down and bring it right back. So it just lives there on the screen. You can swipe it away. You can swipe it away to this side. And it lives here in the corner, and you can just swipe it wherever you want and quickly access your notes. Now, you may be wondering, if you click Done, how do I get access to that note inside the Notes application? So we can swipe up, we can swipe over, and then we can press the Notes application. And now inside of the Notes application, we'll need to press the sidebar, and then at the top left here, under Folders is Quick Notes. We can tap that once, and all of the Quick Notes that we make will live inside of this folder called Quick Notes inside the Note application. So you can just go ahead and tap the hello, and it brings up that note under Quick Notes just like that. So really easy to find. You just have to press this sidebar in the top left, and then press Quick Notes to find them. So you can also swipe up with your Apple Pencil and just press this New Note button right here and start a new note. And then if you want to get back to your other note, you just press this little 4-dot icon and you can select your old note, like hello. So you've got two notes here, new and hello. So you just swipe up to access all of your quick notes. You've got this little menu option. You can add a screenshot, you can share, and you can delete. And that is Quick Notes on the Apple Pencil. So if you remember if you remember previously, you can swipe up to take a screenshot from the bottom left, and then you can swipe up from the bottom right to do a quick note. So I'll hit Done here, save the photos, and swipe up to do a note. So there we go. That's Quick Notes and swiping up to take screenshots. Really cool features that we have baked right into the iPad operating system that allow it allow us to be able to come in here and access these features when we most need them. So next up, I want to take a look at the Settings application. So we'll go ahead and open up Settings. You get access to your top settings here. You've got things like airplane mode. If you're taking travel, you can turn on airplane mode. You can turn off airplane mode there. You've got Wi-Fi, you've got Bluetooth. You can connect things like your Apple Pencil, your AirPods, your additional Bluetooth accessories. You've got notifications. You can come in here and see which apps have access to sending you notifications, and you can turn them off. One of my favorite features to come in here, if you don't like badges, like the little annoying red dots that pop up on the app notification, you can go to that app and just turn off that badge just like that, and then it won't show up. So I do this for my email because sometimes I have 500 emails and I don't want to be seeing that I have 500 emails in the red badge. So I just go into the mail application and I turn off the badges. You can say how they come in, whether you want it to come in through the lock screen, the notification center, or a banner. So very cool options that we have right there for the notification center. Now you may be wondering, how do you access the notification center? When you're in an application, all you have to do is just swipe down from the middle of the screen. And this gets you access to the notification center. If we had any notifications, they will pop up right here on this app. And same, if you were to lock your screen and turn it on and scroll up, your notifications would appear. But we don't have any notifications, so they don't show up. I'm going to go ahead and type in my passcode off camera. And there we go. We're good to go. We're back into our iPad. So that is Notification Center. Next up is sound. So you can come in here and change ringtones, text tones, new mail, sent mail, calendar alerts, reminder alerts, default alerts, and pick whichever sound you want for that particular thing that happens. Next up is the focus mode. Focus modes are really neat because you can come in here and design a focus mode for whichever setting. So I can come in here and say a custom focus mode. I can name it for studio. And then I can come over here, select red. We can come over here, you can select an icon. I'm gonna go ahead and select the computer, but they've got dozens of different icons here. And then we'll hit next. So this is what happens in focus mode. It silences notifications you do not want, and you can share with friends that you've been silenced or that notifications have been silenced. And it turns a custom home screen page, and you can schedule it to turn on automatically or off from the control center. So I'll go ahead and hit customize focus. And in here, I can say I only want to hear from mom, dad, friend. You can choose the people that you want to be able to notify you, and then you can choose apps that you want to be able to notify you. So we'll select, we can come over here, we can say I only want notifications from calendar and FaceTime, all the other apps I don't want to hear from. And you hit done, and then we hit done here. Now, when we turn on this focus mode, only application notifications will come from calendar and FaceTime and no one else. I can come over here and choose customize lock screens. I can come over here and change the lock screen. We can say we don't have any particular lock screen set up, but we can choose which screen unlocks during this mode. So we can say the battery widget that we set up before, we can select that. And then you've got smart activation, which turns on automatically, or you can add a schedule, or you can come over here and add focus filters to help you remove distractions. So I'm not going to add a schedule, but I'm just going to go ahead and from here, I'm going to swipe down, access control center. You can see I'm holding down on do not disturb, and now studio is an option right here. I can go ahead and select studio, and now when I unlock my device, it brings up the one and only battery screen that we created. It has the battery widget on this home screen, and the other screens are not available in this focus mode. I would have to disable the studio focus mode by turning it off, and then heading back to access the other modes. So you also in that mode, only notifications and FaceTime notifications would have come in. So really cool way that we can access our content there. It's great when you want to, if you're having a certain mode for work or a certain mode for studying or a certain mode for working, whichever modes you want, you can come into your settings application, go over to focus and create as many focus modes as you want. We've got a personal one, a work one, a studio one, a do not disturb, and you can also share them across accounts with iCloud. So really cool options that we have there. Let's take a look at screen time. So it can show you how long we used our iPad for today. You can see all apps, and so we've spent a lot of time in notes, a lot of time in camera, Safari, Apple.com, music, settings, and photos. We can see our normal, things inside of general, things like your software update or Apple Care warranty and more, AirDrop, AirPlay, iPad storage. Let's check out the iPad storage. This is a very handy one. You can see what's taking up the most storage on your iPad. If you need to delete something, you can go ahead and do that. You can see GarageBand here is taking up the most storage with 1 gig, 1.65 gigs of space, and you can see how much free space you have. So really handy stuff that we have right here inside of our settings application underneath the general section. You can modify Control Center. You can add various different options, accessibility shortcuts, alarm, Apple TV remote, code scanner, dark mode, flashlight, guided access, hearing. You can see there's over a dozen different more controls that you can add. And what happens is you swipe down, you can see there's only 4 controls right here. But if we were to add the flashlight control, now when we swipe down, we see the flashlight, and we can turn on the flashlight in the back there, just like that. So really cool options. We can turn on the low power mode. We can turn on a timer. We can turn on voice mode. So I just enabled a bunch of new extra features right here inside of Control Center. Now when I swipe down, all of those features pop up. So this is the settings application. You can see that there are tons of different modes here that you can come in. You've got display and brightness. You can switch from light to dark mode. You can see all about the home screen in the app library, the multitasking gestures, accessibility, the wallpaper right there. Let's take a look at that. If I lock the screen and I hold down on it with my finger there, unlocks through Face ID, and I can add a brand new wallpaper. I can come in here, we can add different photos, weather, emoji, astronomy, color, kaleidoscope, emoji, unity. So I can come over here, we can add, let's do the astronomy one. You can also add widgets in landscape and portrait mode. So you've got various different widgets right here on your home screen. I'll go ahead and add this here. And we've just added a brand new, I can set this as a wallpaper pair, a brand new home screen and lock screen for this iPad. So now when I select it and I unlock the iPad and I go to the home screen, this is what it looks like now. If I want to switch back to the other one, I can lock it and I can hold down on this one. Hold down, authorize with Face ID, and swipe back and go to the other one. So you can have multiple various different lock screens and different home screens on your iPad. And you can monitor and modify all of those right here in the wallpaper settings or just by locking and holding down on the home screen. You've got Siri and search, you've got Apple Pencil settings, Face ID and passcode, privacy, security, battery, App Store, Wallet, and Pay, and then all of the settings for the various different applications. So anytime you need to modify anything, you just head into the settings application and you can access all of those settings right there. Tell me a joke.
To the person who stole my limbo bar, how low can you go?
To the person who stole my limbo bar, how low can you go? There you go. So really cool joke from Siri there. You can also use Siri to get things like the weather. What's the weather in New York?
It's currently cloudy and 58 degrees in New York, New York.
So, want to promote your business in front of tech enthusiasts? You can sponsor AppFind to get a shout out on a video or even your own dedicated video. To learn more, see our rate card and request a sponsorship. You can click our link in the description to Passion Fruit to learn more and inquire about a sponsorship. I'm really excited for this new iPad Pro. It has a lot of power and you can use things like your Notes application and download applications to check out all of the latest and greatest power for the M4 iPad. But this was a beginner's guide, just getting you started and getting you prepared and set up on your brand new iPad. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button and let us know what your favorite feature of the brand new M4 iPads are in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to let us know and be notified when we release our next technology video. We love producing these videos for you and can't wait to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.